Coming up on iPads in the Classroom, we're talking to Jeff Holland about his favorite drawing apps. Hi, and welcome to iPads in the Classroom. I'm Guy Trainin, and today we're talking to Jeff Holland, who's a graphic designer here at UNL, and we're talking about some drawing apps. And I asked Jeff to bring his favorite drawing apps on the iPad so you can see what can be done on iPads with kids or on your own. So what do you want to show us?
Well, the first thing I want to show you is a program called Doodle Buddy. And it's probably the most basic drawing program on the iPad. It's really good for kids. It's really fun. And it has, your average drawing tools. You can use a paintbrush, changing the colors. It's really easy. Anybody that's used an iPad or a tablet before can do this. Different variations of brushes like chalk and
I saw you have glitter. Glitter is the most important tool in elementary school.
Glitter's doesn't really look like glitter. It looks like a texture, but it's pretty neat. Let me go ahead and clear the screen again. This is another cool thing. These are just icons that are pre-drawn graphics that you can just add to the canvas. And there's also stencils. We can reshape them and then color inside of them. There we go. And use
very cool.
Yeah, use them like traditional stencils. And move them around some more. Oops. Resize. You can also add text, which is pretty easy. And change the backgrounds.
Oh, this looks like a new logo now.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's the official logo. And that's pretty much it. It's really basic, but it's really fun, and it gets, especially for kids.
That's fantastic. So that's called?
That's called Doodle Draw, and that's really simple. The next one is a higher end program. It's really similar to Illustrator. Anybody that's done graphic design before, that's kind of the standard for the industry, and it's called iDraw, and it's vector-based. It's vector-based graphics are used for making sharp images and logos and things like that. So I'm going to start off with the canvas again, just like Doodle Draw, but this is more high-end. They have a lot more tools on here. So I'm going to start off by drawing a circle. One finger will draw a circle. If I hold two down, it keeps the ratio in proportion. So you draw perfect circles. Go ahead and draw a couple more. And this is the move tool. Most people are familiar with that with any program, PowerPoint, Photoshop. And it has automatic alignment, so you can see these little lines popping up. So I can put it in the center perfectly.
And you have coordinates there, so you can actually think about it more mathematically.
And you can actually, if you go into the settings, you can actually show a grid and have your object snap to the grid. There's also pre-rendered artwork for this too, and it's like floor plans. They have chairs and sinks, and you can actually use this for drafting and designing. Okay. So we have these circles here. I was going to show you how easy it is to draw something. With my selection tool, again, I can select that circle, change the fill. We'll go ahead and make an eye. So we'll make that blue. Click on the center, make a pupil, so we'll turn that to black. And you can also, these are transform tools around it. You can drag those, and you can also rotate. You can't see it because it's a circle. Let me make this a little smaller. And I'm going to do one more thing that I think's pretty cool, add a little effect to it. So I drew another circle. I'm going to make a reflection. And instead of using a solid fill color, I'm going to use a gradient fill that's black to white. And you can see it right there. We can also go into this fill, and I'm going to change that black's opacity to nothing, which opacity is just if you can see through it or not. And it actually makes a little reflection, fading from white to nothing, and we can turn the stroke off too. Like that. Got a little eyeball. And it has a lot of the same tools that Illustrator has, so we can actually select everything, and going into our modify panel, we can group it together. So now it's one object. We can actually move it around.
Make it smaller or bigger.
Smaller or bigger. Hold your finger down on the object. Copy. Hold your finger down somewhere else on the canvas and paste. Now you got a couple. You can line them up perfect. And we can draw one more circle and fill it in. We're making a head right now. Make it orange. And by selecting this object and using the modify panel again, you can use a slider to move its position. Objects are stacked in layers, so you can move things forward or backward. So now we got a little dude there. It's got the pen tool where you click and drag to make curves. You can fill that in. You can do all kinds of things. I mean, it's really, really intuitive and easy to use and understand. This is great for starting. I actually used those big programs, and this was easy. I immediately picked it up, like within a couple minutes.
Yeah.
So the last program I want to show you is Photoshop Touch. We'll start off with the new canvas. And there's a really good thing about the iPad is they've already thought of functions that you would be missing on a desktop. So you can actually do a picture search. So I can go to Google from Photoshop. Found this guy right here. I already did a little pre-planning. And find a picture and add it directly into the Photoshop document. And we can resize it. And once I add that in, what we'll do is I already have it set to the extracting tool. And what I want to do is it's on keep right now, and I want to keep your picture. So I'm going to kind of trace just inside of your image. But it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right on the edge. And you can always modify.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a remove, because it needs to know what you want to take out. Oops, I let go too soon. But see, you can see that it's already trying to cut out the background, and it's still on remove, so I can go back in here and keep drawing until I feel like the selection is good. And just
I see the line snap.
Yeah, and what's even cooler is you can pinch and zoom and refine even more. Go in here a little bit more and get rid of that. And you can really fine tune this. Okay, and then once we have a pretty good selection, we'll just zoom back out. And we'll hit this little pencil tool and say extract. And it cuts. I mean, it's pretty amazing, I think. Let's go ahead and take this. I saw this picture before. It's really nice. So here's a picture of in front of the Union. I don't know what building that is.
The quad, I think.
Okay, so now you can see there's layers in here, so we can just drag that layer into the background. Guy's in there. Can move him around. And what a lot of people don't know is that it has a lot of the same filters and functions. So if I'm on your layer, I can go into special effects. I can make it
that's
like a graphic pen, blurring, shredding, doing all kinds of really cool things. I can add, oh look, glow. Put a little glow around you. Change the color. For people who don't know, this also supports blending modes,
And that's to blend the pictures together so they look more natural.
Yes.
On top of each other? Okay.
And your basic tools, you have your paintbrush, and you can change the width and strength and selection tools. It really does have almost all of the features, and that's about it.
Okay, so today on iPads in the Classroom, Jeff Holland showed us 3 different drawing apps that can be used with different levels of complexity in the classroom. So if you've got very young kids and you want to just introduce them to the basics, Doodle Buddy is great, but this can get more and more sophisticated as things go on, and we can actually take them all the way into the profession. So it's first steps into really mature steps depending on the level of complexity kids can do and their level of interest. And we'll see you next time on iPads in the Classroom.